waiting for feedback from Baptiste because he have asked to another to GTFCC if they have received email.
Yeah, Jean, because just very briefly, I discussed with GTFCC Secretariat so that they also put as a commitment the roadmap to end cholera. That was done, and I've asked Philippe Barbosa if he received a notification request or something like that, because apparently it's taking some time for the side event. It took almost 4 days to have a notification receipt, something like that. So that might be the reason for, I imagine.
Yeah, but for us it's more than 1 week now. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. If you can resubmit Aude or Solène, that would be good.
We will do it tomorrow morning
material?
or this evening. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Then second thing is the side events. So we've been all submitting some side events. Regarding the call to action, we submitted a side event on Friday. I will tell you a little, I will go through a little. Fantastic, great. So we call to action on accelerating on SDG 6, especially on fragile context, and with a clear focus on capacity and finance. So this is the title of the side event. What is interesting is that we managed to have around the table IOM with co-lead on this side event with ACF. We have the French Water Partnership, and I would say they have been pretty instrumental to push France to participate. We have the governments of France, the MEAE, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Europe, who just committed at 6:30 on Friday. That's very good. We have Solidarité Internationale. We have the Development Bank of Latin America, who is also member of the World Water Council. So the person who will speak for the World Bank, for the Development Bank, Franz Rojas, is also a member of the World Water Council. And then we have also UN Water, but I think UN Water will have, it's good to have them on board in order to get the side event validated, but they are not going to be vocal at the side event. So, so this is it. To describe a little what we are expecting from this side event in terms of agenda. So we will have several speakers. The idea is we are going to introduce the issue of capacity and finance based on field examples, Nigeria, South Sudan, Yemen, etc. And showing the challenge faced by wash operators. Here we will have some presentation from IOM, but also from Solidarité Internationale and, if possible, from UN Water. Then after, we are going to have an analysis of the WASH finances in development in order to reach SDG 6, but also in a fragile context. And as you know, for development, we need to multiply by 4 the speed. For fragile context, we need to multiply nearly by 22 or 23. So this will be important, and this will be presented with the support of the CAF, so the Bank of South America, and possibly with the support of BHA, because I just got an email from BHA saying that they couldn't commit, they had no time, etc., but they're reopening the door. And I guess, Baptiste, you had the same email on cholera.
Unfortunately, no.
Okay.
I had a negative feedback.
Okay. So me, I'm going to explore with BHA, but they told me that they would be happy to come back on board and possibly to put a sort of high-level representative. So I will follow on that. It's very recent. And then after that presentation, we are going to present the call to action. And so there will be a very brief introduction on the roadmap. And then we are going to present the call to action, and we are going to engage the people to sign the call to action. The idea to put the call to action here is if there are media in the room, etc., to be able to speak about that and to promote it. So here we are at the moment. The speakers, so we have Antonio Torres from IOM, Baptiste from Solidarité Internationale, possibly Federico Properzi from UN Water, Franz Rojas from the Development Bank of Latin America and World Water Council, myself, and Marie-Laure Vercamp from the French Water Partnership. If someone from the MEAE is there, we would possibly ask this person to contribute. So this is for the side event. We got the feedback, the confirmation email today, so that's done. They received it, and we'll be sure about if we are in or out on the 13th of February. What we'll do is we are going to start registering ourselves in ACF, and I think there is the deadline is pretty short on that. So yeah. So I would encourage you, maybe Baptiste, also to register to the conference as soon as possible. And then I had a question for the roadmap regarding the budget. At one point, we were saying that there was a sort of 6,000 euros of francs Suisse available for advocacy or for the event. Could you confirm on that? Because I'm not so clear. Maybe I don't know. Oh, did you have any vision on this envelope?
No, sorry, Jean.
Okay. Could you check maybe with Marc-André? Because I don't know, Baptiste, did you understand the same thing, that there was an envelope? I have that on my notes for many weeks.
I don't remember that, to be honest with you, but it might have slipped my mind.
Was that before the consultants of the initiative 4.3 was drafted? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I think so. Yeah. So it would be good for us to know if there is an envelope and if we can use it.
Okay, we'll look into it and get back to you.
Okay, fantastic. And then so then regarding the call to action, so yeah, fantastic. So you're just presenting here the 14 signatories. I understand that Oxfam is joining it, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so Oxfam will be the number 15, or?
Yeah, it's one of the latest signatories. Yeah.
Excellent. And then, of course, the idea would be to share it as much as we can. So first thing, I believe that, so what we did in ACF, we shared it with the 50 country office we have. I think that all these members should probably do the same in order to make some buzz around it. And then after, as you were saying, Solène, we are going to propose, and me, I can do it. I can propose to the MEAE to engage on it. And do you see other major actors we could engage? Same thing regarding the PFE. Does that mean that all the members of the PFE could commit separately to it? That could be also good.
Yeah, it's the best option, I think, Jean.
Okay. So I will approach the PFE on that. And then the point I had was, so we are going also to approach IOM and the CAF. I think IOM is ready to commit. They told me, and the CAF I need to check with them. So I will take care of that also. And I think it's good now to clarify, and maybe you can do it, Solène, on how we are going to present the call to action to the member states.
Right. Well, first thing first. So just to do a bit of a recap of where we are now on the call to action, but as Jean said, so we have 10 WASH Roadmap actors with the 9 that are portrayed here and Oxfam, and we have 5 organizations that are not part of the WASH Roadmap, which you can see here, that have signed. So this is quite positive. We're not sure how, I mean, there's not really any way to understand how they got to the call to action, but we're pretty sure it's from social media, and because we've had a lot of WASH Roadmap actors sharing both through their organization and on the personal accounts about the call to action on their social media. So a big thank you for that. So we'll take care of getting back to them, also because some of them are also interested in joining the WASH Roadmap, not only to sign the call to action, but also to see how they can contribute to the collective. Now, about member states, we've got a slide here kind of portraying what's the whole process about the call to action. So as you know, on January 17th, the WASH Roadmap Initiative 4.3 and the Secretariat shared to all WASH Roadmap actors an email that is universal and can be shared to your partners, networks, coalitions, or pretty much any organization you think is appropriate. So one of the first thing we've asked to our actors is to just share massively this email, because it's very straight to the point. It explains what the call to action is. It offers the links. It's, you know, it's very it's a very great tool just to share, spread the word, and get new signatories. Then we've used.
Sorry, Solène, this email.
Yeah.
This email is where does it come from? Is it coming from the Secretariat or?
It is. It's from the Secretariat to all WASH Roadmap actors. It's on January 17th.
Okay.
And we're also trying to get additional signatories, especially non-WASH Roadmap actors, to sign through networks of partners. For example, the Water Diplomat, which is an international journal tackling water news, which will be publishing an article about the call to action very beginning of February. And also through our donors and kind of networks that are linked to the WASH Roadmap actors. As I said, we're very we're very active on social media. We try to publish a bit every day about the call to action. We've made some quite sexy visuals and banners on the call to action using our visual identity, and we try to be active through external events such as the UN Water Conference. So this whole effort that the WASH Roadmap Secretariat and the actors are leading is, as you understood, a way to kind of get to the rest of the WASH sector, may it be humanitarian or not. And this is the third line here you see on the right, which is we've started at the very core of the WASH Roadmap, and now we're trying to expand and getting additional actors to know about the WASH Roadmap, but more importantly to sign the call to action to get as many signatories as we can before the UN Water Conference. And this comes back to your question, Jean, about the fact that the more signatories we get before the Water Conference, the heavier the call to action will be, and the more legitimacy it will have to be appropriated by member states. And the idea is that if we get to 200 signatories before the Water Conference, there's a big chance that we'll be able to transform this call to action into specific points that member state representatives will be able to use in the side events they participate in. So just like the side event you tackled that AECF is organizing with the MAO participation, we're hopeful that representatives of member states will be able to use the call to action, and we'll tackle it during the side event that they participate in. So that's right now the main way we see that we can approach member states, but we're also trying to go through coalitions and partnerships of NGOs. We're thinking, for example, about the Dutch government. We're trying to get them on board as well. But of course, I mean, the best way is, the best resource we have is the WASH roadmap actors. So we're very open to any ideas or any effort that you think would be interesting in going through to get to member states.
Yeah. I think François, you had a question.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, just because at 3 o'clock today, like an hour earlier today before this workshop, there was a workshop held by Interaction, and this workshop is about localization, and there was a lot of people there, like more than 100 participants, and Reach did a presentation on groundwater management in one of their projects in Syria, and managing WASH in this situation and community engagement. I'm just thinking that I'm not sure Reach is part of the roadmap. I don't think so, but there might be an avenue there within, like, I don't know how much contact there is with Interaction, but there's quite a big network of partners that might be reachable via Interaction. So just an idea to
Yeah, just for your information, Reach is active in the WASH roadmap. I'm not sure, Aude, if you want to enlighten me on this, if they've signed the commitment letter, but they're active on the WASH roadmap.
So
they're official actors.
Yeah.
Okay.
Me, I had two questions. One regarding the Global WASH Cluster. I think the Global WASH Cluster needs to receive the call to action and to share it with its members. The call to action is a lot about humanitarian WASH. It's about protection of infrastructures. It's about resilient WASH. Okay. And so,
by Solène. Yeah.
D'accord. So, did you have any feedback?
No. So about that, we're the way we found the most appropriate to get to the Global WASH Cluster, and it's over 80 members, is to go through their newsletter, which is sent once a month, and considering our timeline and the communication strategy around the call to action, we've sent the article with visuals to the Global WASH Cluster email address this week, and it will come out in the February newsletter, so most hopefully next week or the one after. So most actors of the WASH roadmap are part of the Global WASH Cluster, so it won't be new for them. But to the other 50, it will be brand new if they haven't received it through their networks yet. So this is how we were hoping to get to the Global WASH Cluster. Again, if you have other ideas of how to integrate them, happy to hear.
Yeah, I'm afraid that some people don't read the newsletters or don't do it systematically. I would prefer you maybe to get the list of
Monica doesn't
members.
want. Sorry, John, but we asked to Monica a few weeks ago, and she's not agree with that. She wish that we use the Global WASH newsletter.
Just to clarify, maybe, Jean, because we had this discussion on the SAG very briefly from the GWC perspective, and basically they are not allowed to share a mailing list for data protection reasons. So, but what has been mentioned is that this mailing list is reaching actually much more people than the 80 GWC members. They have, I think, more than 200 people, organizations that are registered. So it's going beyond the GWC official members. Obviously, not everyone is reading it. I agree that that's for sure. But hopefully, it can reach a bit more than what are within the GWC scope.
Okay. The second point was about SWA. Do you plan to approach them? Or do you want me to do it? I think it will be.
It's very difficult to touch them because, for example, these last weeks we have maybe send 3 or 4 emails just to have the commitment letter signed by them, and we have no answer from them. So I don't know how to get it.
Are you connected with Katarina, or
Yeah,
who is your?
But
okay.
Yes, I think it's Katarina. Yeah. So my idea was to ask to Marc-André to contact her directly.
Yeah.
I don't know if you agree with this proposition.
Yes.
Okay, so this is yeah. We plan to do it maybe this week. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Something also. Are you monitoring the? Is it the secretariat monitoring the? The commitments, the signatures, etc., etc. It could be interesting to follow, a sort of curve of number of people, of organizations signing, to see if we go to a plateau or if it's increasing or whatever. I think that would be pretty interesting. And a question with that is, is there a written strategy on how we want to reach everyone?
So you mean the signatories of the call to action?
Yes, yes.
Right. So for now, we register everyone that signs is registered in an Excel table, just to make sure we don't miss out on anyone, and just to have a trace of every signatory. We do want to offer them follow-up activities, like we tackled, I think, last week, on if they want to maybe appropriate themselves as CTA for side events or other things. So we'll have. We have right now on the form to sign up for to sign the call to action, the opportunity for them to send their email address, and most of them have, especially those that are not part of the WASH roadmap. So we do have their email address now. We do. I think it's important that Initiative 4.3 reflects on what happens next. What kind of engagement do you want to offer them? How do you want to approach them? Maybe it would be part of the consultants. I'm not sure how you want to go ahead with that. The secretariat can take care of the very procedural thing. For example, those that are not part of the WASH roadmap, it is our responsibility to offer them, if they've shown interest, to become actors of the WASH roadmap. But on all activities relating to advocacy and the follow-up activities after signing the call to action, that would be more relevant if Initiative 4.3 would go ahead with that.
Jean, we can discuss with Florent, you and me. We can maybe organize a discussion and address these specific points, if you agree with that.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, that could be good. And last thing also, are you mapping the members of the roadmap who are going to either submit side event or participate to side events? Can we have a mapping of all the side events submitted by the roadmap?
Alors, Jean, just as a reminder, but it was a mission of the Oxfam, the consultant for your initiative.
Oui.
I think is the first objective of the assignment, I think. So
right, yes.
We have already finished the contract. So we hope that they will start the 1st February. So as soon as they are ready,
right,
I think it will be more free.
Excellent.
So far, what we know is who from our actors are organizing side events, and you have the three that we know of on your screen right now. But we haven't mapped who is participating in one. But it's part of the consultants, and I think it'd be great to kind of know, especially since the WASH roadmap will be also promoting those side events and other contents relating to the water conference from WASH roadmap actors. So that'd be great.
Okay.
So I think we've tackled all points of of the water conference. Just it was one of the first points on the slides, but just a slight reminder from the WASH roadmap secretariat that the Wash Roadmap Secretariat recognizes that this event is huge for the sector, and it's a great opportunity to voice humanitarian wash demands and needs, but that the collective does not hold legal status, meaning that it can't get accredited and it can't attend to the event nor organize side events. And that's basically why, especially if there are some participants to the virtual coffee that are not part of the Wash Roadmap, that's basically why we want to, as much as we can, promote Wash Roadmap actors' initiatives and side events through communication on social media and just by spreading the word. Also, we have weekly kind of updates on Wash Roadmap. So that's what we've been trying to do until now and what we'll be doing until the water conference. So we're reaching the half part of our virtual coffee, and I'm not sure if Elisabeth, you're with us, but we're hoping to tackle now the Groundwater Summit, which
Elisabeth is here.
Awesome. So we'll be tackling from now on the Groundwater Summit that happened in Paris in December. So Elisabeth, the floor is yours. Welcome back.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much to invite me again. Very nice to meet you again. So you asked me for slide. I didn't prepare any slide, just a discussion. I think it's interesting. So in your email, yeah, you were asking first about the Groundwater Summit expectations, and yeah, a bit of analysis here on if we have reached expectations and what comes now. No? So basically the Groundwater Summit expectations were, I mean, to summarize it in 3 words, for a few words, it's was to put groundwater on the political agenda, no, and that's why it was a high-level event, not a scientific conference, no, high-level event. So many, yeah, with ministers attending, country delegations, etc. It has so I will speak. I mean, mainly on my point of view, but also on global point of view, UNESCO, IGRAC, the feedback is that we have reached expectation. Why? I think because the very high attendance of the event, the very high interest on the event. I don't know exactly, but it was around 700 persons attending on site, and I think more than 1,000, 2,000 attending online. So we can say there, it was a success from that point of view, no? Because participation is key for any of this kind of event. And then also the interest of many countries sending delegations, sometimes minister, but at least high-level public servants or institutional professionals, show that there was basically there is an interest in understanding better groundwater, in managing better groundwater. So what from my own so the as I said in December, the conference was built on the SDG 6 accelerators and the 5 accelerators, data and information, finance, capacity development, governance, and innovation. And for each session on this one of this accelerator, an overview of the situation worldwide was given, and then panel discussions. With high-level panelists giving inputs on each of the sessions topic, and so it was a success. If we speak about participation, a joint statement has been issued. Which again put the priority on finance, on data and information, on capacity development, again, on all these accelerators and the need to focus on groundwater. And the conference called for commitment, so basically this conference, the Groundwater Summit, was like a preparation for the groundwater sector to to the UN Water Conference in March. And so with a call for commitment for countries to commit in the framework for the Water Action Agenda. So we don't know. It's maybe the downside of this kind of conference that, and this is the risk of the UN the conference in March, is the follow-up. No, how you so we don't know how many commitments have been taken, or which commitment will be taken by countries or organizations on groundwater. And I still don't know how we will have, and how we will have an overview of all the commitments. I think that this will be done by the organizers and the co-hosts of the conference in March to be able to evaluate a bit the impact that we have with this conference and with all the groundwater year. So, but yeah, this is still a lot of the unknown, and I'm not sure if we will be able to evaluate the impact and to know how many commitments have been taken. No, what another bit, I think that if it has been a success because of participation, because of attendance of many countries, of high-level people attending, many organizations, but at the end. We didn't reach too much the outside world. No, at the end we are still a bit. Within the sector, and hoping that the countries participating will come back and make some change. But yeah, again, there is no possibility of follow-up. Now, so this conference has the Groundwater Summit was really a preparation for the conference in March, and to push for commitment. And then what has been a lot, and it's really discussed yeah, I mean, there is many things. So basically, regarding groundwater, we have two situations. No, all the developed. I mean, the many countries that were the developing world, where the basic access to water is not met. And there, groundwater is certainly part of the solution, but the message clearly was the use of groundwater should be clearly linked to the availability of data and information on the systems, because if no, the risk of failure and of unsustainable development is high. And then on the other side, the situation of the developed country, where basically we have to reduce consumption and we have to reduce groundwater extractions because we are directly tapping into our saving account, and this is totally unsustainable. So, but it has been said, but it is not so clearly said also it's not said like that here. I mean, also clearly in the joint statement, but the distinction is important to be done. Yeah, this is a bit, I don't know, we can discuss and I can respond questions also. It's in order to also give information that is useful for you.
Thank you so much, Elisabeth. And no, it's great. And I think you've done a great feedback of overall what's happened at the summit. And it's amazing to have the experience of someone that's so at the core of the questions about groundwater, especially on information and knowledge capacities and all of that. And you've mentioned lately one of the two main topics that were tackled were when you talked about countries in development, the fact that the very core needs of access to water are not met. Would you say about that, because it's also the main context that, for example, the call to action and humanitarian WASH is focusing on? Would you say that context of fragility, violence, and conflict were well represented at the summit, or would you say it wasn't as much tackled as it should be?
No, it is not. No, I think that no. I think it has been mentioned by, I remember one participant, one panelist in one of the sessions mentioning it, but it's really anecdotal. So, yeah, that's, yeah, it's also the difficulties of those very high level events. Yeah, that especially when working with UN and in this case with UNESCO, it's that really. I mean, everything is prepared and planned. I mean, it's just it's. All texts are prepared, and even panelists have prepared. There is no discussion. Basically, there's no time for question. I mean, it's all very. So this was mentioned, but it's not at all part of the discussion. So that's very interesting, your question, because. I'm wondering if it will be part of the dialogues, the 5 dialogues of the conference in March. I mean, we can expect, because the dialogues. I don't know. Maybe you know, because I have been in all the preparation meetings and not sure if it's really part of the.
Well, we're definitely aiming for that through the call to action. But as I see, I know, Baptiste, you've raised your hand probably for a question, but I think, Jean, you just raised it to answer Elisabeth's question.
You're mute.
It was, hi, Elisabeth. It was just to say that for me, the groundwater is perfectly illustrating the nexus, the triple nexus, meaning that it's a challenge for development actors. It's necessary for humanitarian response, and globally it contributes to peace, to the peace agenda. Getting an equity on the access to water is also working on the groundwater resources, etc. So it's a pity that it has not been pushed in this conference, because all the UN are speaking about the triple nexus. It's not easy to find good examples of it, and I think that management of groundwater is really a very good example of that. Thank you.
And particularly looking past in 2022, as UN Water has been focusing their report on making the invisible visible. And I was just one question from my side. I was wondering, because you were mentioning a little bit the question mark about potential commitments that could come from various actors that have been participating into this Groundwater Summit. That has been very interesting. I was there personally, and I felt that was very interesting and very diverse also in terms of participation. And from I've not read the statement, or I don't know if there was some maybe key recommendation apart from the, maybe just, like we agree that the acceleration framework is important, but maybe specific recommendation that could be bring by key actors or maybe member states within the water action agenda, because again, we are this is one point we have been mentioning, but this is a bit the deliverables. This is where the deliverables will be built from at the UN23 conference. And as for now, it's quite limited in terms of let's say commitments actually. And I feel that if we want to be ambitious and aspirational, as well, saying Jean, we really need to have high-level commitments that come from this kind of summit, that are able somehow, to summarize and to capture the key priorities, the key recommendations. So I was just wondering, do you think that, like some partners organization, UNESCO or IGRAC or other key participants, that they have thought about which type of commitments could be made within this the frame of the UN23 conference?
So yes, the main objective it's to have a commitment from countries, of course, for member states, and this is how also the conference is built, and to have the member state at the core of the side events and the dialogues, etc. So this is where we will, because of course, so UNESCO, for example, speaking in concrete commitment that are so there is, UNESCO, for example, is working on more than a commitment, on what they call the game changer, which is science-based global water assessment, a sort of IPCC for water. So this is something that it seems to have really the support of many member states and organizations. So they are pushing that forward. It's very ambitious, but probably very needed, yes. So this is one thing. Then there is, for example, there is with UNICE a water cooperation coalition for pushing countries to cooperate on surface and groundwater for cooperation. And so, as IGRAC, of course, as organization, you can take commitment, and for us, I think we are working on data and on also a communication campaign, because the week before the conference is the Open Data Week, New York Open Data Week, something like that. So we are working on this. So we will focus on this, on open data. As IGRAC, because we have to also to choose our fight and focus, and so we will focus on that. But basically, the objective is to get member states and countries committing, because if not, I mean, we can do little. So and the conference is really built for the country to be really the main actors. And you know, they were really pushing for the side events to be led by countries, and etc. So this is the kind. I mean, it's just an example. I think, yeah. So there will be many commitments, and what they are pushing also from the co-host is that yeah, the risk is we have thousands or more individual commitments, and that will be not very effective. So they are pushing a lot for association, for coalition. I mean, to merge sometime. And I think maybe for the side event, because there is so many side events that I don't remember, but I think more than 1,000 side events that have been submitted. So the competition will be very high, but maybe they will ask to merge side events. So this is a bit the example, some example, but I think, yeah, all UN agencies are working on commitments and side events. But yeah, what is not clear how they will manage all those commitments and side events, because I think this will be huge. So on groundwater, yeah, the focus and what we didn't heard so much is the financing part. There is an event in Geneva in February led by OECD and UN Water on financing water in preparation to the maybe you've heard about that, on preparation of the conference. So yeah, let's see what I will be attending. So if you need feedback, no problem. Yeah, because yeah, this is also the main point. We need the finance. We need financing commitments, and this will be also a key. So yeah, yeah, I'm also interested. Yeah, what you mentioned, Jean, that groundwater, of course, it's a main nexus. Yeah, that is probably the big advantage and the problem of groundwater at the same time, that we are maybe still not able to integrate and to mainstream and to get this nexus. Because no, that's true. It has not been discussed. Yeah. So yeah, this is interesting. Let's we can. I'm happy to brainstorm about it and see how we can push also this important. Yeah.
Thanks, Elisabeth. And I've put the link of this event in February in the chat. We might have some actors actually participating, who knows?
Okay.
But it's great. It's definitely on the table, and we have an initiative focusing on financing the sector, and ACF is also organizing a side event at the Water Conference on that. So it's definitely on the table. And I'm so glad you talked again about data monitoring, and it's also it's something you had mentioned and tackled during the panel discussion in December. And it's great because it's opened really the floor at the end of the panel discussion to participants who also had things to say about data collection and monitoring. And since then, we've really seen in our WASH roadmap actors an interest in tackling data. We have an initiative 1.2 I mean, a whole working group, but especially Initiative 1.2 that is focusing on that, and it's really kind of got us all to brainstorm, and we might probably have maybe another virtual coffee or another internal event to tackle this topic. So it's definitely on the table, and thank you for bringing it out again. Are there other questions from the audience to Elisabeth, or just other topics you'd like to bring to the front about groundwater or the water conference? All right.
Maybe just a little comment, sorry. Regarding this event about financing water in Geneva, is it open to everyone or?
I don't know. I can ask. But what is it's hybrid, so it's a good thing. So maybe
It's hybrid.
Yeah, it's hybrid. So
Okay.
so it should be. I can ask. No problem.
Well, I will check also on the website.
Okay.
But yeah, of course, Elisabeth, we are interested as much information you can get, especially on fragile contexts. That would be really important for us.
Okay.
Just to keep in mind that fragile context, we are speaking of 22% of the world population. Huh? So it's 1 person on 4 who is on fragile context. So yes, we would be interested on that.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Perfect. I will.
Elisabeth, another question for you. I'm sorry. You were speaking about an event on data. Is it a UN event organized in New York or?
No, it's not UN event. I think it's like a week, like the. Let me check quickly. But I think it's not. Just a minute. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the New York Open Data, and it's March 11 to 18, and it seems that it's you can look if you put 2023 Open Data New York.
Okay.
So no, it's not UN. I think it's an organization. I think they're organizing maybe that because ahead of the water conference and the water week. But this is really. I mean, we will really. We will take this opportunity. I can reach out when we are working on it now. I mean, it will be maybe mainly a communication campaign, but we will really work. And so we are now looking at partners for this community, and we want to reach out countries, but not only countries, also researchers, private companies, and we want. Oops, sorry. And we really want to have commitment. I mean, to trigger commitment on open data. And releasing releasing data sets, sharing data. So I can then, when I have a concept and something a bit more clear, I can send it to Solène and you see if it's interesting.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Elisabeth.
Okay. So sorry for the noise.
No, that's okay. So brilliant. We'll add both of these events on our website. We have an external event page on our website, so it's brilliant. So we're right on time. Thank you everyone for participating and asking questions and getting some information shared on groundwater and the water conference. The next virtual coffee will most probably happen beginning of March, and we look forward to this new event and also to the ones tackled by Elisabeth. We'll definitely have information to share about that. Thank you all. Thank you, Elisabeth, for participating again in one of our events.
Thank you to you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.